right. Hello to everyone of our Annuity lead listeners. Coming at you here. I'm just leaving downtown Disney, or the Disneyland Hotel in beautiful Southern Orange County, California. I was at the Crown Capital Conference, and while I was there, I got the opportunity to speak a little bit. And one of the main things I wanted to do at the presentation was I wanted to give everybody a tool that they could use to help them better understand what took place on June 9th, 2017, when the first set of the DOL Fiduciary Rule went into effect. And so for everyone that subscribes to the Annuity Lead, in this issue, you should have access to a DOL Fiduciary Rule guide. Now, being the position that I'm in, I've seen a whole bunch of different guides from a lot of different carriers, and a lot of them are really, really good, but this one in particular I like a lot. It's coming from North American. It's done a really good job of giving enough information without providing so much that there's just too much detail and you lose track of what's going on. Some of the key points in there, in this guide, after you download it, the overview is nice, kind of talk about where we're at, but when it comes to the overview and where we're at, what's most important to note is the difference between what's occurring from June 9th, 2017 to January 1st, 2018. Come January 1st, 2018 is when you will start to have to use that best interest contract exemption, most specifically how it relates to what I do in the annuity side of the business. But until then, you have access to the Prohibited Transaction Exemption 8424, or PTE 8424, right? That allows you to still sell variable annuities, fixed indexed annuities, and then fixed annuities, fixed insurance, when making recommendations for qualified plans like IRAs. So a couple of key things that was highlighted in this article that I thought were good. Number one, talks about the impartial conduct standard. What is the impartial conduct standard, which is kind of the first piece that we have to make sure that we're abiding by after this Friday implementation went into effect. Three kind of key points to that. Number one, we're acting in the best interest of our clients. Number two, that we are not misleading, not having any material misleading information or statements. And then lastly, that we're only receiving reasonable compensation. And for as long as this whole rule's been coming around, I've been hearing a lot about, what constitutes best interest. I'm already acting on behalf of my client's best interest, right? We all are, right? We're trying to do what's in their best interest. So what does this actually mean? How's the DOL define what constitutes acting in client's best interest? And then number two, what is reasonable compensation? How do I understand what's the exact definition of what reasonable compensation actually means? So this guide addresses both of those points. Number one, the first, best interest. There's a whole page talking about what best interest means and defining two key points: loyalty and prudence. Essentially, loyalty means that I am offering options that are in my client's best interest, not necessarily in my best interest or the best interest of the firm that I work for. And prudence. What I got out of it, and I'm not a lawyer, so nothing that I have to say should be taken as a substitute for legal counsel. But what I got out of it from a prudence standpoint is that simply means if I was in their shoes, in their situation, circumstance, knowing what I know, what would I do for myself? So exercising both loyalty and prudence are two key points that determines whether or not we're acting in best interest. And then reasonable compensation. Essentially, the market dictates what reasonable compensation is. If we have a whole bunch of options that do essentially the same thing in essentially the same range of benefits, right, with no gigantically large disparities between one or the other, well, then what is the majority of options paying? And are you providing the solution specifically that provides more compensation than maybe where the rest of the pack is at? Additionally, it does go on to talk about the fact that the DOL understands that lowest compensation doesn't always mean best product or in the best interest of my clients. So there's definitely wiggle room there in the fact that as long as the option is being selected by your client, because you did a good job of educating them and helping them understand what each of the different options are, then it's okay if that's the one that provides you the most compensation, as long as it was in their best interest. So anyway, some great information there. It also talks about not just the PT 8424 and how we continue to abide by the PT 8424, but also it talks about how do we begin to document the work that we're doing with our clients. What's those best practices that we should initiate? What's our discovery process with the clients? What kind of fact-finding are we doing? And then making sure that we're maintaining a record of our fact-finding, our discovery, and the process that we followed to arrive at the solution that we recommended to our client. Did you use any software that does analysis and offers multiple options, right? And if so, do you have documentation of the options that software dialed down? So simply talks about, how do we make sure we maintain documentation to prove down the road what we did in regards to making the recommendation, how we arrived at that recommendation. Was it a third-party organization like FPG that helped you come up with that solution? Can they provide you a documentation to show you the different options that you have available? I know we can, and we will, and we're happy to do so to help you guys out. And then on top of that, you have to make sure that you maintain record of all of that information, not just the 8424 disclosure form, but also all those other pieces, the fact-finding, discovery, and like I mentioned, the comparisons and all. And you want to maintain record of that for at least 6 years. So kind of a key point I wasn't really aware of until I read through that piece from North American. So I hope you all enjoy it. It's available for you there. If you have questions, you're welcome to give us a call, 877-455-0119. I can be reached directly at extension 226. And now I'm on my way to my son's hockey game. It is his first game of playoffs. He's 6 years old, and I'm rooting for him. If they win this one, they'll go off to the championship game, which will be on Saturday.